He's
Get
asking,
messy.
how did you get connected with Jeleel? Because he was there from before he blew up. What's the story behind your connection, and how did you guys made the Dive In record?
That's a good question. So what's this nigga's name you said?
Vection.
Vection. Shout out Vection. Jeleel. So I am from Illinois. I'm from a town called Rockford, Illinois. I said Chicago earlier, but like nobody knows what Rockford is. But I was in Rockford, like making beats in my mom's basement. And bro, like um I was working at this point I was working at UPS and I was working at UPS and Best Buy. And like I would make hella beats in the morning. Like my routine was I would wake up, go to the gym, make hella beats, like 10. I would go for 10 every day when I wasn't. Oh my God, this is giving me flashbacks, bro. I'll make 10 beats and then I would go in to work at UPS at night. And then when I got off, it would be like 2 a.m. or some shit like that. And I had a shift at Best Buy at 5 a.m. And so I would, from 2 a.m. to when I got off to 5, I had already made all my beats for the day. So I would just get on Instagram and I would just look for anybody in LA that I could tap in with, and I would just DM niggas like, "Oh, that was crazy." My voice cracked. I would just DM niggas and be like, "Yo, let's work," or whatever. Like, sometimes, most of the time, it wouldn't even be on some like "let's work" shit. It would just be on some like, "Yo, I fuck with your jeans in this," or "I fuck with blah blah blah." Like, just on some trying to like just be cool with niggas on, you know. And I DM'd this dude. His name was Versus XX, and I thought he was a rapper. And I saw that he was out in LA and shit, and we got to just like chopping it up on DMs, and then we get to talking every day. And I'm sending him loops and shit, and he was like, "Oh, bro, I'm working with this artist named Jeleel right now. If you have any like loops or ideas or whatever, like send some shit over. Blah blah. He's about to come over later." So I send some shit, and he sends me a song. This is 2018. 2018? Yeah, this is 2018. So like Jeleel, I think he had like 5,000 followers at the time. And I was just like, all right, I was so hyped because I was like, this is a nigga in LA I can work with. Like, this nigga's not weird. So I'm sending back ideas, whatever. And then these are the niggas that I was talking about. Like, I just started FaceTiming with all the time. Was this dude who was Jaleel's main producer versus and Jeleel. And we just got super like tight over just talking every day on the internet. And then I would, FaceTime Jeleel some days, I'll FaceTime Versus some days. And like I said, like they would take me on the phone to like parties in LA, and they would just like hand the phone to somebody that they were like homies with who knew like was in the music scene and shit, and just walk away. So I'd just be on FaceTime with some random rapper that I never knew nothing about, and I'll get chopping it up with them. And so like all of the like scene slash circle around them like knew about me just from that. And so me and Jeleel and Versus kept working, and then I was supposed to go out there to visit, just like on some like let's see if this nigga's not weird in real life type shit, you know? Cuz like knowing somebody over the internet isn't real, you know? So we were trying to plan out this visit or whatever. I'm saving like UPS checks and like trying to save some for my Best Buy checks and shit. And bro, one day their roommate got a girl pregnant in Arizona, and they were like, "Yo, he has to move out. We need a roommate like right." They were in some like emergency, like we're about to be like homeless type shit if we don't get a roommate. So like, can you come out here? And so I just put all my shit in my car. I had a 1999 Nissan Altima, and like the bottom was all rusted out and shit. It was a horrible car. But I put all my shit in my car and I drove out.
You drove from Chicago to Los Angeles.
Yeah, bro. And I thought that my car had hella miles on it. So I was like trying to calculate like
when it's gonna break.
There? Bro, when I was in Utah, and I stopped at a gas station. And in Utah, bro, there's just I've never experienced anything like it. There's just nothing for like miles. Like you'll drive for like an hour and see nothing. It'll just be road and like desert. And so I stopped at this gas station. It was nothing for miles and miles, and then this gas station, and then nothing for miles and miles. I stopped at this gas station and I got gas, and bro, my car did not, it wouldn't start. So I was just like, damn, I'm just stuck in Utah. And my shit ended up starting eventually, and I got out here, and then yeah, I met him the first time when I pulled up and like started moving my shit into the house. And then in that house, we just, bro, when I got there, my friend Versus, who's the producer dude, he kind of like, he was like my closest friend and is still like a close friend to me, but he also was like on some mentor shit to me. Like he gave me his recording template, and like when he would have artists pull up at the crib to work, he would just let me like sit in the sessions and like watch how he worked, and like, you know, just little shit that I would pick up on, and he would teach me about like, when somebody pulls up, you're going to chop it up for like 30, 45 minutes, an hour, and then you could be like, "Oh, let's pull up beats and blah blah," and like just the workflow shit. And so in that house, I just learned all the basics of like how to record people, how to like I remember the first time in my room there recording Jeleel. Jeleel was the first person I ever recorded his vocals and being like, "Oh my God," like freaking the fuck out because I was like, "Nigga, this is all so new to me." And yeah, we lived in this house in it was in this town called Azusa, which is like 45, 50 minutes outside of LA. And yeah, I got there and we just locked in. Like it was on some like boot camp shit for real. Cause every day I would be like, I've been making like 5 to 10 beats every day for like 8 years, bro. And so like I was doing all that, and then at nighttime I would record Jaleel on all the shit that I made. And like that's when I got a lot better at like recording. I like got faster at recording and like just got good at engineering in that house. And so like we would just make, bro, I have like hundreds of songs with that nigga because my room, literally my room was here and then the next room over was his room. So like we were just separated by a wall. And so anytime that I'll be playing a beat, he would just walk in my room and be like, "Bro, this shit is so fire. Can you pull this up?" Blah blah. And we decided that we were gonna move out of that crib. Um, and niggas was like, "All right, we got 30 days. This is the last blah blah." And I remember I was making this beat. And I think it was one of the last beats I ever made at that house. And it was on some like, you know how you make hella beats after you get to like the fifth, sixth beat, you'll be like, "All right, I don't have any energy really for this next one, but I'm gonna just crank out some fast shit. Like I'm gonna just do some like fun shit, you
The
know?"
crazy swag always come out of that. Always the most insane
Yeah,
because you're so lazy. You just make everything
bro.
work, bro.
Bro, so I was doing that. I was like, "All right, this is the last one." This nigga bust in my room. "Bro, what the fuck is this?" Blah blah. I'm like, I'm like, this not the one, bro. Like blah blah. He was like, "Bro, please just send me this beat, bro." I'm like, "Word." So the next day come around, I'm making beats. He come in, he say, "Bro, can we record on that beat, bro?" I was like, "Yeah, like if you're set on it, yeah, but like I don't fuck with this." And then he records some shit, and he just got this feeling like I'm telling the nigga like, "Bro, I don't want to do this, bro." Like you know how like a nigga will want a beat and you're like, "If this shit get big, I don't want this to be what niggas know me by," type shit. So it's that he recording some shit and I just stop him. I'm like, "Bro, I don't want to do this, bro." And he like, "All right, just bounce this out and send me what we just made." Nigga, like I get to what's it called? I move out and I move to a new apartment, and this nigga pull up at my new apartment and like it's literally just a bed in there. There's no furniture and shit. I have my desk. And he pulls up and he's like, "Bro, we gotta try some shit on that beat again, bro." And I was like, "Bro, I don't know. But all right, let's do it." And so we record again. Second time we're recording on this beat that I'm talking about. That's like, I don't like this beat. And he's screaming and shit. This nigga's the loudest nigga I've ever recorded with. And it's a studio apartment I moved into. So I'm like, I don't know if my neighbors are about to bug out. Like, bro, we can't record loud like this here. I stop it again. I'm like, bro, let's just do some different shit, whatever. And then I end up pulling up on him maybe another week later after he finds a place to move into. And he's like, bro, we got to do something on that beat. Like, let's finish it here. I could be loud here. Like, we don't got to worry about your roommates. I'm like, fuck it, bro. All right, let's do it. We record the song, and his roommates bust in the room when we get done. We playing it back. They like, nigga, what the fuck is this? One of his roommates is a videographer. He's like, bro, we gotta shoot a video to this shit ASAP. I'm looking like, what y'all doing this for? Like, I'm looking like y'all niggas is, because you know how when you got some music playing, if niggas bust in, whatever they say is finna heavily sway. If they would have walked in and been like, this shit is trash, that shit would have never materialized. But niggas was like, bro, this is the one. I'm like, for sure. Maybe a week later, niggas shoot the video. I pulled up, and that was dive in. And niggas dropped the video, and like that shit kind of started going crazy. And like we had worked on so many other songs at that point. Like I was like his main producer at that point. So I had seen, we make a song, he dropped a video. I'm watching the numbers like the first week or whatever. And I remember being like, damn, this shit got 10,000 views in the first week. Like, this nigga never had a video or a song do that before. Like, what the fuck? And then, bro, that shit just started going crazy. And I remember like a week after that, I went camping and there's this place called Big Sur in California. And it's like 6 hours from LA. And there's no service where the campsite was that I was at. So I remember I walk up to this like restaurant thing where they have Wi-Fi, and I'm with my girl, and Jeleel called me. He's like,
Oh,
"Bro, have you been seeing this shit, bro?" And I was like, "No, what are you? I have no phone service. Like, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "Bro, no, I'm not married. I'm not married."
no, 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 but like
um,
scrolling, like you went on the internet on the Wi-Fi to check the song going crazy on the camping trip.
no. I wasn't even on that. I just was like, I have Wi-Fi now, so I'm texting niggas, and Jeleel called me as soon as I get
Oh,
service. He's like, "Bro, are you seeing this?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Bro, it just hit 100,000." I was like, nigga, what the fuck? And at that time I had never had a song break 100,000. Like I think the biggest song me and him had before that was maybe like 40,000 or some shit like that. And so I remember being like, what the fuck? Like blown away. Let me see if I still have this shit on my Instagram actually. Where is my shit gonna load?
this story has a lot of steps, yo. A lot of steps. As something went left, this couldn't happen. This wouldn't happen. This is
Bro,
messy, bro.
and
This is the
it
mess. This is the mess right here.
mess, real mess. And especially because I was the whole time like, no, like I was trying. It took 3 attempts of recording the song, and me being like, no, we're not doing this every time. And so, oh, this post right here, June 17th, 2021. I posted this shit, and that was what I posted at the like little restaurant where there was Wi-Fi. I was like, I have to post something about this, and I posted that shit. And bro, after I posted that, that shit just, not because I posted that, but after that post, shit started to go super, super, super crazy. And then yeah, that song just became what it was. It was so weird to watch too, because like I've only a couple times I've been around a lot of artists where I'm working with them and they're like right before they're about to go crazy. But it's only 2 times ever happened where somebody's like, no, this is the one. Like, watch this. And then it goes crazy. And it was Jeleel with that Dive In song. Like him just being like, I know that this is it. And then, bro, you know Tia Corinne?
Of course.
Bro, I had a session with her. Um, and this was 2022 maybe. I had a session with her, and she pulled up and we're about to start recording, and then she gets a phone call, and it's from her manager. She takes the call outside or whatever. She gone for a minute. I'm just in there chopping it up with I think like her manager or some shit at the time. And she come back, it's taking long too, so I'm like, damn, is everything good? She come back in and she's crying. And she's like, "Oh, my manager just said that we gotta push my album back and blah blah blah, like this shit." And I'll never forget it, bro. She said like, this shit, like I worked so hard on this, bro. Like it's hella songs on here because I know one of them has to go crazy. Like I know one of these is about to change my shit. And then it dropped, and that song Freaky T was on there. And I was like,
Oh,
bro, I was like,
oh.
wow, that's I've only ever seen this one time before where a nigga's like, this is it. Watch. And then it happens. Like that shit, bro. Yeah, it's a really weird thing to see when somebody like for whatever reason is like, I'm about to go crazy.
That must feel so powerful when you actually materialize, when Hair or Jaleel actually materialized. It gets me to a question though. I have a nice question. I feel like this is much more for myself, you know. How did you feel once realizing that you were kind of wrong about that song? How did you feel about your ideas, your craft? Did that change anything?
Yeah, it changed a lot, bro. Like it really I mean obviously I felt good because I was like, oh this is finally happening.
Luckily, I was wrong.
And yeah, I was like, luckily I was so wrong about this, but it really made me like I'm like in sessions when I'm like making music with the artist, I am very like there's a hair floating. I'm very like hands-on with like the process of like writing a song. Like not so much I'm writing bars, but like I'm very much like don't say that right there. Or like that bar does not sound good, take that out. Or like
Same.
take the hook over here, like whatever. And after that song came out and I was like, damn, I was so wrong about that. I definitely had way more. First of all, I had for a couple days I had this weird like damn, is my taste just fully wrong? Like, am I just like, am I, because anybody that makes music, you're like, I know what's the right thing, Everybody has that. But I just had this feeling of like, nigga, am I an idiot? Like, what the fuck? And then after that, I had this, just moving forward past that, I just was like, all right, like, if a nigga's really set on some shit and I don't see it, I'm gonna just let them rock out and like trust that they see what I don't see. Like it really that was it made it set in that like I had this moment of being like, okay, from now on, pretty much everybody that I work with is really good at making music. Like when niggas are in the NBA, like everyone in the NBA is good at basketball. There's not anybody in the NBA that can't just like drop 30 points. So I had this feeling of like, all right, everyone I work with is really good and has really good taste for the most part. I'm gonna just trust that, or at least like be aware of that. Like it was this reassuring feeling of like, all right, I'm past the phase in my career of working with dumbass niggas who don't know anything. But yeah, it didn't have like too big of an impact where I was like, damn, like having an internal crisis. But I learned the lesson of like, all right, I gotta trust niggas. And
Very
it did,
nice.
I will say, I remember so vividly, bro, cause I mixed that song.
Oh,
And like I recorded that song with him obviously, but like I mixed that song. And after I mixed the song and I bounced the master, I used to run downtown LA like a lot. And I went on a run downtown at night. It was like 9 or 10. And I was running and I was listening to the mix, like the final version, and I was like, I get it now, kind of. Like this makes sense. I understand what this nigga's talking about. So that gave me also a thing of like seeing niggas' ideas through.
and trusting them as well with their vision. Also, the fans have their own vision. Whenever I make
Yeah.
music, I be making a lot of beats on live, obviously in front of other people, and I don't like maybe most of it. Sometimes what I'm working on, people be like, "Oh, this fire, oh, do that, try tweak this, try tweak that." Who am I to tell them that you should not like this? Who am I to say that? So I feel like we
Type
should
shit.
give even the fans the freedom of enjoying whatever they may enjoying, and the artists obviously such as Jeleel to pushing out that freedom, and maybe they don't even know they might enjoy that. One thing struck me though that most of the people may not realize is that you guys been out and about for a little minute making music before the dive in moment.
Bro, yeah, bro. There was that whole time that we lived together. I mean, even before I moved in, like niggas was just locked in. Like I have a lot of songs with that nigga. I think Dive In is the last song that we made together. It's like I don't want to say last song we made, but the last song that came out that we made. And we have so many songs pre that. But yeah, niggas was definitely like it happened really quick with that moment, but like bro, for so long. Like I lived in that house for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And like for that whole time, niggas were just like, oh, that's the guy that like does backflips and like that's his homie that just is out with him at all parties. For real. Yeah, there was a long time pre that of just like niggas figuring it out, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.